Python scripts can execute complex logic and automate workflows, but if they only interact with local memory, that data is lost the moment the script ends. To keep data persistent, you must bridge that script to a living database. Before writing the first line of code, you need two things installed on your machine: a running MySQL server and the Python MySQL connector library. By the end of this setup, your terminal will run a complete sequence, securely logging in, fetching the data, updating the records, and safely closing the connection. By structuring the sequence into a clean template, you establish a standard protocol for authentication and data flow that can be replicated across different applications. Step 1 is bringing in the tools. We import the MySQL.connector module and set up the connection object, giving it the host, user, password, and database name. Writing passwords directly in the main script is a security risk. Instead, we store sensitive details in a separate configuration file. We test this by printing the connection variable. Seeing that numeric connection ID confirms the database and script are talking. Now we need a way to navigate the database. We create a cursor object. You can think of the cursor as a pointer or a handle. It is the specific tool that executes our SQL commands and fetches results row by row. Keeping the credentials walled off protects the system's access, while initializing that dedicated cursor gives the application the precise control needed to target exact lines of data. With the cursor ready, we pass it a standard SQL command, like select asterisk from users, using the execute method. To read the data, we have options. If we only need a single specific record, we use the fetch one method, which pulls just the very first row into memory. This comparison chart shows both retrieval functions. Side A shows the single row fetch. To get the whole table, we use fetch all on side B to grab every remaining row. But pulling a massive database using fetch all can exceed the available RAM. Choosing the correct fetch method keeps memory consumption stable, preventing the application from freezing or crashing in a live production environment. Reading data is one thing, changing it requires a strict protocol. We write an update statement, pass it to the cursor's execute method, and run the script. The terminal will run without throwing any errors, but if you check the actual database directly, the original record remains unchanged. This happens because MySQL uses transaction control. The update we just ran is sitting in a temporary memory state, isolated from the live tables. To make the change permanent, we have to explicitly call the commit method on the connection object. This two-step process acts as a safety mechanism. By requiring a manual commit, the database ensures that if a script crashes halfway through an update, no partial or corrupted data ever touches the permanent tables. Once the operations are finished, we must close the connection using cursor.close, followed immediately by connection.close. Leaving connections active creates a backlog. Over time, open sessions drain server memory and place locks on tables, preventing other applications from updating data. To guarantee these closures happen, we wrap our entire execution inside a try finally block. This structure forces the system to run the close commands even if the script hits an error earlier in the process. Cleaning up resources is an operational requirement. Enforcing a clean termination protocol keeps the server architecture stable and ensures the application can run continuously. We now have a complete functional template. The script imports credentials, connects to the server, initializes the cursor, executes a committed update, and safely closes the port. When you hit run, you will see a clean sequence in the terminal: the initial connection ID, the confirmation of the rows updated, and the log showing the connection has closed. With the bridge built, the next priority is fortifying it against external threats, specifically by sanitizing user inputs to mitigate SQL injection vulnerabilities. Completing this template establishes the connection layer of your application. With this handshake finalized, the architecture is ready to support the more complex logic of multi-user systems and persistent data storage.